friends, welcome to My Divorce Real Estate. I'm Amber Gifford, and this is my husband and teammate,
Scotty Gifford.
And we have a special guest today in the house.
So excited to have our first true guest in the house here today.
True guest at My Divorce Real Estate.
Man.
We're big time. So Cindy West with Matador Lending is going to be here today to talk what?
She's talking market appreciation. Is it a good time to buy?
Good time to buy.
Always a great time to buy in real estate.
Always a great time. So we super appreciate her coming by, and she's going to give you tons of information. So check it out.
So, okay. Well, today we got Cindy West from Matador Lending with us today. And so how are you doing today, Cindy?
I'm good, Scotty. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So today I guess we're going to talk a little bit about the housing market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of changes going on in the housing market, especially with mortgages. Mortgage rates are increasing, as everybody knows, and we're expecting them to increase more in 2022. But one of the biggest questions I am asked is, as mortgage rates climb, will that affect the value of my house? Will my prices start to decline? What are your thoughts on that, Scotty?
I mean, I don't see that happening in today's market. Really, if anything, we might see maybe a small, not as big as increases we've been having, but really, I think we're just going to keep seeing that uptick.
Yeah, absolutely. So deceleration is still appreciating. Your home is still appreciating, just at a slower pace. Mm-hmm. But Scotty, there's really no correlation between interest rates rising and home values. At least that's what analysts have determined. So that's a good thing for us. Whether the rates are higher or lower, home buying is definitely what you need to do to build your net worth. Yeah,
I'm a big believer in that net worth, right? Because we've seen, we have a blog post I wrote about the other day, the net worth of a homeowner is 40 times higher than that of a renter, right? So, and most of that net worth is because they own the home, right? So. Yeah,
absolutely. So for example, with that 40 times higher, if you own a home, your value estimated could be approximately $300,000 as compared to a renter where their net worth would be $8,000. That's huge, difference in renting versus home ownership. But not only is financial reasons to buy a home, but you've got the stability. Stability meaning it has a hedge against inflation. Mm-hmm. So the biggest part of your monthly payment is principal and interest, which is fixed for 30 years. So as prices and inflation goes up, majority of your payment is stable. As a renter, each year, your rent is going to go up, and you're going to either have to get a raise that's at least equal or greater to that to not affect your cash flow. So home ownership actually is a hedge against inflation. So stability and also security and emotional benefits, the American dream,
for sure, right?
Are huge reasons to buy a home. And there's really nothing better than buying a home.
Oh, for sure. And those are all great things you mentioned, right? So we talked about, your home's appreciating, you're paying down the mortgage, right? So that way you're building equity in that home and you're locking in a rate. And right now, even though rates might have creeped up a little bit, we're still at 40-year lows?
Yeah. There's still the fours. There's still great rates. When I bought my home in 2006, I was paying 6%. And that was actually a great rate at that time. Which, going back to that 2006 era, was the housing bubble. Mm-hmm. So as you know, between 2003 and 2007, home prices were going up, increasing. Mm-hmm. So the reason, and that built from for the 4 years, and then from 2007 to 2010 is when the market crashed. So just bringing that up with what's going on in the market today with the acceleration of home prices, I think that's a topic that is on everybody's mind these days. So the factors that caused that housing bubble back in 2003 to 2007 had to do with supply and demand. Mm-hmm. The overage of inventory at over 9 months inventory, and in a neutral market, it's typically 6 months. So we had an abundance of inventory homes on the market, and we had buyers. So back then, the mortgage guidelines were definitely looser, and credit was given to a lot more people that were probably not qualified to buy. I personally remember interest-only loans. I almost made this mistake, thankfully I did not, of getting an interest-only loan, relying on appreciation to make up for that difference. So what happened is, with the loose lending and the oversupply of inventory and prices rising, it was a false sense of appreciation. 2010. And then that's when everything changed, and we had the market crash between that time period. So, but today is a big difference in where the market's at.
For sure, yeah. Because you talked about having 9 months of inventory on this. Definitely a buyer's market in that choice, right? You had plenty of homes to choose from, lots of houses to pick from. The prices were still going up at the time, but and then we had that crash, and then we had an oversupply of homes, right? And nobody could afford them. Banks stopped lending, all that changed. And now we're at the total opposite end of the spectrum. We're down to 1.3 months of inventory in Katy or here in Houston, right? And that's just definitely a seller's market, right? And so that's where there's just not enough inventory of homes to go around for all these buyers and all these millennials that are coming of age, right?
Yeah, we've got the Z Gen, Next Gen, X Gen, whatever Gen that are coming up that are wanting to buy. And actually, Scotty, buyers now are more qualified than ever. Stats show that their FICO scores are over 620. That's not how it was back in the housing crisis. So that means that buyers are more qualified, and actually their net worth is a lot greater, because if they're reselling, then they have all that appreciation that they gained over the past couple of years. So that makes them definitely more qualified to buy and more financially secure, which also contributes to the housing bubble / housing crash. So that's actually really good news for everybody out there.
Yeah, so it sounds like today the buyers that are buying homes aren't getting in there with no down payment or no bad credit scores, right? So the people that have moved in these homes are secure buyers. They're going to stay there. They're starting their families, their lives, right? So they're not going to just be, I'm selling next week, right? So they're not just jumping in the home hoping it's going to appreciate 20% like we've seen this over this last year, and just go and then turn around and try to sell it or buy an extra home just to see the appreciation, right? They're really trying to buy a home to live in.
That's right.
And they're qualified buyers. So that's all good news.
Yeah, and stats show that over the next 4 years, that the pessimists would say 23% growth over the next 4 years, where the optimists are saying 68% growth. So when I get asked the question, I don't want to buy, prices are high, are they going to come down? Not in the next 4 years, according to the analyst. So that's really good news. And if you do the math on that, typically home values appreciate around 3%. And then we're experiencing, we're expected to experience 6% growth just in 1 year. That's more than double what we usually are predicting.
Yeah.
So that's great news. So I think it's the best time to buy is now. You don't want to wait. Interest rates will be going up, and we're expecting them to go up next year as well. That will affect your purchasing power, your monthly payment. So don't wait. If you have the opportunity, get started now. And if you don't know, get with a local lender like myself, and we'll get you pre-qualified and see if you can move now. Waiting is not on your side. It's not going to help you. It's going to cost you more money.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a great point you just made there, that it's going to cost you more money to buy the same house 6 months from now, a year from now, right? Because we don't know where those interest rates are going to go. Yeah. We've seen all this inflation in the market, and go in the store, your cars are up, your homes are up, everything's up, and so the government's going to have to do something, and the market's going to do something to push these interest rates up, right? So we're not going to stay at these low interest rates forever.
No. I think we've been spoiled over the last decade or so with 2s and 3s and 4s, but don't be afraid. 4s and 5s are fine. If you are renting, you're paying 100% interest. Anything is better than renting. 100% interest. Remember that. So 4, 5, 6%, whatever it may be, is always going to be better. You also have potential tax write-offs with homeownership, and peace of mind. So if you want to get qualified or see what your house is valued at, or find out what your net worth is on the house and equity to move up, to downsize, give Scotty or I a call. We can help you out with that.
Yeah, that's great information. Yeah, and that's one thing I did want to touch on too. Maybe if we have just a little bit more time, was talking about if I'm in the first, I bought my home, I'm in the starter home, and I'm looking to move up because I want a little more size. I'm getting squeezed out with the kids or whatever it is, right? I want to move to a different part of town. You think that's still, even if all this information, it sounds like to me that I would still be a buyer, right? Do you still agree with that? Like, we're moving up homes. Let's, we've seen that prices going up. It's still great to move up time.
Oh yeah, it's better to move up now because you're gonna ride on the wave of the 23 to 68% appreciation in 4 years. So moving up is a better thing.
Yeah, for sure. Because that $500,000 home that's appreciating 10% even, right, is $50,000. Where a $300,000 home appreciating at 10% is only $30,000. So you got that extra appreciation, and every percentage or two that goes up, that's just more money in your pocket or more net worth, right?
Yeah, and it's just going to cost you more in 6 months or a year. So, and we have down payment programs where even for a jumbo is $640, $250. So loan amounts of that amount, you could put as little as 10% down and pay no mortgage insurance. So
wow, I did not know that.
That's one of our new programs that we have.
Dropping that information out there, right?
Yeah,
look at that.
Slide that in. That's a big thing, though. Because jumbo, traditionally, we call them jumbo in the lending world, traditionally is 20% down, and many homeowners don't have the 20% down. Plus reserves, which means cash in an account at closing. So that little 10% difference is a huge, it could be the difference between somebody qualifying and not. And we also don't give them mortgage insurance. So
yeah, that's a big savings right there. And I don't even know how much that number is, but I'm sure it's hundreds of dollars a month.
Absolutely,
or sure,
hundreds of dollars, and it'll affect your purchasing power. So with no mortgage insurance, that means your payment will be smaller, so you can afford more house. Yeah.
Okay, well, great. That's all great information. Is there anything else that you want to talk about while we're here?
I think we wrapped it up. I think, what I'd like everybody to take away from this conversation would be to don't be concerned about buying a home. There is no housing bubble. And I would definitely move forward better sooner than later because it will cost you more money down the road.
No, that's
so pretty awesome having Cindy West here, huh?
That was so amazing to have that, information just, right here and with,
She's the expert. So she is the mortgage lending expert, just like we're the divorce real estate experts.
Yeah, and if you want to, we'll put down Sydney's information down below if you want to contact her directly. But otherwise, that was just a really great show.
Thanks so much for joining us. You can check out our website at www.thegiffordgroup.net with other blogs of things that were discussed in the video. And as always, we're here to bring you real life experiences to all your real estate needs.